defending champions, dropping more points, only managing 1-1 draw away against Fiorentina. And what that means, of course, if Atalanta win today and Napoli win tomorrow, it would be Napoli and Juve level on points in 4th and 5th. Ali, this was a bit of a crazy game for Juventus. First half, they were terrible.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're going the same way that this season's going. Alternate, good with bad things. And when it happened bad, they concede goals and they go in trouble. And today, I don't want to say that they got lucky because they scored straight away in the second half with an amazing goal by Morata. But the energy that they show on the first half was really, really low. And this is the constant thing that happened during the year, and with that it become difficult to reach the Champions League. We already talked about that, and in 24 hours for now we can have 4 teams at 66 or maybe Atalanta at 60, 67 or whatever, 68, and 3 teams at 66. So it will be a huge run for the Champions League spot.
Ali, how do you explain that lackluster, that poor performance in that first half, given we all know the pressure that's on Juventus, given that we all know they need these points to guarantee a place in the Champions League? They look like they're almost already on holiday.
No, they definitely not on holiday. I mean, is the pressure of the jersey, first of all. The jersey is very prestigious, and if things are not going like you want, the pressure becomes even higher, first of all. Second of all, it's a very strange year. They change a lot. They have a young team. They brought a lot of young players and a young coach as well. So it's and considering also what happened in the last week, talking about how the club were moving to the Super League or not. There's a lot of rumors around, and it's not easy to feel full-time concentrate. But it's their job. And they are missing that part now. Lucky that they have incredible players. Today happened to Morata that make an amazing goal. But otherwise, you go into trouble. Like last week against Atalanta, where you play against a strong team, you really had the feeling that you're going to lose. And that is exactly the opposite that Juve show in the last 10 years. It's an up and down sometimes, but it's a constant thing that happened this year.
And it's interesting you brought it up, and I just wanted to go into a little more detail with you about it. How much do you think of all the talk, which would be impossible for the players to ignore, regarding the Super League? Does that really affect them going into games like this?
No, I think it's affecting the club in general and a little bit the team. The team is more pressured about the fact that they see that they are struggling a little bit. They don't are doing what they want, and they see the possibility that maybe they're gonna not make it for the Champions League. And it's a big thing after that you won 9 titles in a row, running for the titles, and have the real possibility to do not even go to the Champions League next year. So that's kind of fear that takes you a little bit more nervous. And in this situation, it happened what it happened. It's weird to describe. It's not easy to describe. But I believe the most pressure has become from the fact that they're struggling on the pitch. They don't see their performance like they want.
Gab, what's the mood around Juventus from Italian fans in general, considering what happened over the last few days?
Well, look, I think what you're seeing is that there's a big chunk of people out there, both Juve fans and people who follow Juve, who remain steadfastly loyal, who go and are not critical of Ranieri, the president, because they say, look, he did what he had to do, and he had to go out, look out for Juve's interests, and Juve invested a lot of money, and they lost a lot of money, and blah blah blah. I think at the same time there are a lot of people who look at him, and certainly among the other owners in Serie A, they feel completely betrayed by what this man has done, and they let them know. And on top of everything else, what Ale said about the players and their attitude towards the Super League, I think what they do know is that, just the amount of mockery on social media and in the streets that they get into if they slip out of the top 4 spots, and then they give it the big one about Super League, about how massive they are and their followers around the world. I think, that really, really stings on top of everything else.
How nervous are you, Ali, that Juventus may not be in the Champions League next season, may not get a top 4 place?
How nervous I am? How nervous I am?
Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit. I mean, I'm still a Juve fan. I played 19 years, so you know how many things happen between me and the team. And from my perspective, Juve I hope they're going to reach the Champions League spot. I mean, they're an incredible club. There's incredible player. I mean, we're talking about Ronaldo and Dybala first, and my teammates like Chiellini and Bonucci and Buffon as well. So I will be sad if it's not going to happen. But the only judge have to be the field. Full stop.
Gab, how big a disaster would this be for Juventus if they didn't qualify for the Champions League?
I mean, obviously, financially, it would be a really, really big blow. And, you know, there's different ways out of it. You could get an equity injection from the ownership. We don't know what the situation is going to be like with financial fair play. Look, the owners have a lot of money, but equally, the owners have a lot of real-world businesses to look after who've also been hit. You know, if you're trying to get out of it simply by, you know, by selling the players that you can sell, by looking at your saleable assets, they have a bunch of people on loan. They also have, you know, commitments that they've already made, like Rovella from Genoa, a young player who they really believe in. But even somebody like Federico Chiesa. Now, their deal between them and Fiorentina is they're paying $4 million this year. They're going to pay $6 million next year for the loan. And then as long as Juve finish in the top 4 next season, then they're going to have to come up with another $50 million for the Chiesa deal. You know, you look up and down this team and you say, well, who can I sell to raise money if I need to do that? Dybala's contract is winding down, so, you know, it's not going to be him. Chiesa, they haven't actually bought him yet, as we said. Morata's still a Real Madrid player. So, you know, they're really, Demiral possibly. There really aren't too many guys that they can do that with other than some of the kids who are on loan elsewhere. So it is definitely a tough situation that they're in. And on top of everything else, there's Cristiano Ronaldo, who's going to be entering the last year of his contract. I think the logical thing from both parties would be, all right, Cristiano, you can't get a new deal now. He may not want a new deal now. Let's sit down in good faith when this comes to an end. But that would also mean that, you know, you get 4 years of Cristiano and you let him go on a free. But I think that's a decision that they may have to that they may have to make right now, but rather than tying themselves in to another longer term deal.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.